Hey everybody, in this video we're going to be adding C4 into the multiplayer zombie survival template. The C4 is provided by J. Marcos here. You can buy it on the Unreal Engine Marketplace. It's pretty cool, comes with animations, detonator, C4, explosions, sounds, everything that you need for a C4. And you just add it into the project, and then let me just show you how it works. I'll just set it to one player. This works for multiplayer. Full screen here. So the way I have it set up is I can just press a key to hold the key down to pull out the C4, and then when I let go, he throws it, and you can see it's beeping. And if I back away and press another key, it blows up. So you can do that on any of these zombies here. Just throw some, that ought to be good enough, and then it kills the zombies. So let's I'm gonna open up a brand new project. This is the one I've already done it in, just so I could show you, and then we're just gonna try to do it all from scratch here in a brand new project. So I'm using Unreal Engine 4.27. I tried filming this video several times with Unreal Engine 5.2 and 5.1. and it just kept crashing and lagging on me, so I gave up and I went back to 4.27. So if you're in the future watching this and they fixed Unreal Engine 5 and made it better, then awesome, because Unreal Engine 5 looks awesome, but the editor was giving me a headache. So there's no difference in the tutorial. It'll work regardless. Same process, so no worries. If you're using 5, you can follow along just fine. Alright, so once you've added the C4 to the template, it'll show up here on the left hand side in content browser as explosive bomb. The first thing we want to do is go into our, where does he have this, blueprints. We need to change the mesh, so let's go to meshes, skeletal, no. Somewhere we have to find the skeleton for the first person arms. We'll just open up animations, click on first person and MVP, and we'll get there that way. We'll just click on skeleton up here and it'll open up the skeleton. So this is the arms for the C4. You can see he's already got the detonator in there. So now that we have that opened up, let's go and open up our HGT characters, mannequin, character, mesh, and open up the UE4 mannequin skeleton. Alright, so this is the one we use in the zombie template, hence he's holding the rifle. What we want to do is we want to come over to the C4 arms. We want to scroll down to the right hand, and I think it's under middle finger 1. Yeah, middle 0, 1 for the right hand. We want to take this grip point and copy selected socket, and then go to our skeleton, go to middle 1R, right click and just paste sockets to selected bone. And then let's do the same for this M40 or M57 socket. We'll right click, copy selected socket, then paste it back over here to selected bone. I'm going to rename these. I'm going to call this one the detonator socket, and I'm gonna call the grip point, I'm gonna call it the C4 socket, just for ease, make it easy on me. So those are the two sockets that will attach the detonator and C4. So now we have those. We can close this and we can close this. So now let's come back up to the explosive bomb, and we have to find those arms. I'm guessing it's under demo, first person, character, mesh. Here they are. You could just click on SK mannequin arm skeleton, hit delete, and then down here on the bottom where you replace the references, just type in mannequin and pick the one that's the path. You see right there on the path it says HGT characters mannequin character mesh. This one. Pick that one. Replace references. Are you sure? You hit yes. This will delete this skeleton, and you have to hit save all. And now all the animations for the bombs and stuff will be able to be used on our template skeleton. So next thing we want to do is probably set up the animations and stuff. So let's go ahead and while I'm here, I'm just going to open up his first person anim blueprint. Take a look. He's got a lot of stuff in here that's cool. You can set it up the same way if you want. He's got some sway in here using some modify bones and some IK, and same with the inside of event graph, and also some of these notifies that we're going to use. Alright, so we'll come back to that, but let's go to our character. So let's go to, what would that be? Animations, animation, blueprint. Yeah, there it is. Third person. You want to do third person first or first person? Let's do third person. Alright, so I open up my animation. I'm just going to close the other one for now. My third person animation, and we go to the anim graph, and let's see, usually I do an anim offset or aim offset, but this time we're going to do something a little easier and just to save on time, because you can watch my other videos on making an aim offset. It's easy, it just takes a while. We'll just use a bone to bend for the third person. So let's see. I'll go ahead and just open up my other one so I can do it real quick. Yeah, we just need these animations. So let me just copy and paste these in there, and then I'll show you what they mean. Copy, copy, copy. Copy, copy. Alright, and then I'll go back into here, and I'll just paste it in. So these are, well, this is how we're going to do it here. For third person, we have these new animations for walking. So this would be the bomb C4 walk animation, C4 idle animation. You use a blend poses by bool, and then you just come over on the left side and get is accelerate, drag it in, plug it into that. This gives you the walking and idle for a C4, and the detonator is the same way. You use this animation, X bomb walk 02, and X bomb idle M57. You could probably rename those to make them a little easier to know what they are. But actually, we might not even use this for now. Like I said, third person, I'm not really focused on it. I don't know. I just know if I don't do it, someone's be like, "How do you get third person working?" But anyways, I drag off of the C4 here, and I created a transform modify bone. I think you just type that in. Transform modify bone, it pops up like this, and then you click it. Up here on the side, you want to click and change this to spine 2, which is like in your lower back. And let's see. You come down to rotation, you click this and just click exposed as pin. And then you just right click that rotation and split the struct pin, so it gives you an X, Y, and a Z. And then I just took the pitch, which is a variable over here, you drag in, and I multiplied it by -1 and then plugged it in, and then took and plugged this back into a blend, layered blend per bone. And you don't have to create this node, you can just come up here and copy this one, layered blend per bone, copy that one, paste it right there. Also copy the all loco cache, which is up here, that, paste it in, and then just plug it all in like this. So let me just clean it up for you. So it'll look something like that. Well, if it'll drag for me. Alright, so that will just basically give you a third person bendy animation. But then we have to say it. You drag off of this and you say new cache and click on new saved cache pose, and then you just give it a name of like C4 cache. And then we're going to plug it in up here later, but we don't have a pose for it. So we need to go find the weapon anim set. So let's go to HGT, we'll go to weapons, and then let's see, weapon anim enum? Yeah, weapon anim enum. We'll just make a new one called C4. Save that. So now we have a new type called C4. We go back to the anim graph, and I think you could just right click this, refresh the nose, right click, and then scroll down to the very bottom and add a pin for C4. It creates one right there. Then you can just right click and type in C4 cache. Pulls up, plug it in, voila. Now we should have a new animation state for when you have a C4 out. So that's it for third person. I think that should do the trick. Let me just double check and look, make sure I didn't have anything else. I think that was it. Yeah. Nothing really. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we probably just want to get the first person animation graph set up. So let's go to HGT, first person, animations, first person anim BP, open it up, and we'll go into the anim graph, and it's similar to what we just did, pretty much. Let me just double check. Let's see here. So, yeah, it's pretty much the same exact thing. So, I don't think I need all of that. I can just, yeah, I don't need all that. Okay. So we'll just do the same thing pretty much on that third person blueprint. We'll just take the this part right here for C4, and I think this for detonator. Copy, and then we'll just paste it down here. Only instead of is accelerating inside of here, it's called is moving. So we'll drag the is moving in here, plug that in, and delete the is accelerating, drag in is moving, plug that in. It's the same thing, I just called it two different things. I don't know. Is what it is. So then we have that. Let me double check and see what I did. Yeah, there's not really a need for all that. We'll just do the same. We'll just call this one the C4 cache. You have to call it new save cache post, and then you right click and say C4 cache. So that'll give us a new C4. And then right up here, we'll worry about the detonator one in a little bit. C4 cache, so then you just right click this, click C4, right click, type in C4, use cache post C4, just like we just did in the third person. So that should give us our first and third person animations for the arms in the third person. Now let's see, if we go into the HGT weapons, weapon info table, let's create a new weapon. So I'm going to take, let's do starting rifle. Right click, we'll duplicate it. Down at the bottom, I'll give it a name of C4. Alright, and we'll just fill this out real quick. So the name is C4. The type is, we'll just do special, we'll do line trace. We'll do, let me double check what I did for this one. Weapon type, single C4. Okay, so I guess I made one for that too. So let's do that then. So weapon type, we go to weapon folder, HGT, weapons, and we'll click on the weapon fire type. Is that right? No, it's weapon type. So just bear with me. It's a new thing here. Weapon anim enum. Let's go to weapon type. There it is. Weapon type enum. Here we are. We'll just click a new one here, and we'll call it C4. And then let's go ahead and just make a new one and call it C4 detonator. No, not detonator. Detonator. So now we have a C4 and a C4 detonator. That's the weapon types. Close that. So now when we're in the weapon table, we can come down here and it says weapon type, and we'll just pick C4. And the weapon animation type is C4. And we're going to need that socket, which I think I just called it C4 underscore socket that we put on the our skeleton. We'll just do that for the third person as well, C4 socket. We're also going to need a blueprint. So if you click this magnifying glass next to the start weapon BP, it'll take you to all the weapon BPs. We're just going to duplicate the starting rifle one. I'll just call it C4 BP. Open it up. Open full blueprint editor. Go to the viewport. And this is where you usually set up your muzzle flash, aimed on sights and all that. But we're just going to change both of these. If you hold down left control and click third person mesh, first person mesh, then come over here and type in SK bomb. Boom. Click that. We got a C4. Alright, compile and save. And then go back to the weapon info table and use the selected this little arrow button to select C4 BP, or you can drop down and type in C4 BP. So now that that's selected, we want to scroll down a little more. Let's see. Let's not use left hand IK, and we'll use procedural ADS, but we'll change the ADS speed to 0 so you don't aim down the sights. And let's see, we need a fire animation. So let me see what he's got. If you look inside the bomb, animations, montages, I think he has a bomb throw somewhere. There it is. This one. Yeah, bomb throw. Whoop, whoop. So we're going to use that one. That'll be our fire animation. You can copy this and just, we'll use it for the ADS too. Switch weapon. You can just leave that one for third person. We don't want to reload. First person arm shoot montage. That would be the throw, X bomb throw montage. And same for this arms aiming. First person weapon shoot. Nope. First person put away montage. I don't know if he has. Yeah, let's see what we got. We have an idle montage. We have detonator click. We have throw. We have an up and a down. This is the tricky part. It'll take a little tweaking. I can look and see what I did for my over here. First person. No, I don't even have pull out. Okay. So I'm not going to worry about those for now, but you can put them in later, I guess. Let's see. Put away montage. We'll just clear that. Copy. We'll pull out. No. Reload. No. Muzzle flash. No. Fire sound. No, I don't think we need a fire sound. No. Impact effect. No. Zoom FOV. I'm just going to set it to 90 so you don't have any 90's default, so it ain't going to zoom if you try to aim. We don't need a reload sound. Basically, you don't really need a lot of this stuff. You do need the ammo values here. Let's just see. We'll set this to 1 and 0 or something, or maybe 2. So you get 2 C4s in your clip, 0 in the stock. A fire delay. I set up a fire delay on this. What did I put? 1.5? Yeah. Put 1.5 for the fire delay. That way you can't just spam throw super fast. It'll feel natural at 1.5 delay between throws. And let's see. Reload time, I think you could just put it to 0. Yeah. No reload time. You don't have to reload a C4. We're not going to mess with damage or anything. Don't really need that. Don't really worry about spread and all that because we're not shooting anything. Alright. So that will give us our C4. And let's see. If we go to our HGT, characters, base character, third person character. Open them up. Go to the viewport here. So this is our third person. If you go over to the right hand side under the default, we have starting weapons. Let's just change this to C4 so we can see if it's working. I know. Oh, it crashed. Dang. It's not just Unreal Engine 5, I guess. 4's. Maybe it's something I said. Give me a minute. It'll come back up. But basically, we're going to check the change the starting weapons to a C4, just so we can see what's going on. Get all this pulled back up here. Sorry about that. Okay, so C4. Compile. Please don't crash. There we go. Alright, so I hope everything's saved. We'll find out, right? Looks good, I guess. So when we hop into the game, I'm going to set this to listen server, not standalone, and then we'll play. But we want to play in a new window. It's also, while I'm at it, let's get the core blueprints, gameplay, game mode. Come down here to variables to edit. I'm just going to get rid of the wave over sound. I'm just going to clear that real quick, and the wave start sound, just so you guys can hear me and not get your ears blasted. Alright, so it looks like I got the bomb and it's playing the walk animation, so that's good. Let's see about third person. Like I said, it works. It's just a rough go. You can tweak and make it prettier, but hey, we're working. I got a C4 in my hand. And the same with first person. Alright, I don't think the throw animation is working yet because the montages probably have to be set to a certain socket. So let's go up to our first person, and I think it has to be set to default. Is that what that is? Yeah, default. So let's see, let's go to the explosive bomb animation montage and throw X bomb throw montage. And its slot is set to arms, so we can either change that, or I wonder if I'm like lazy, if I just want to like copy and paste this slot, copy, paste, change the slot to arms, plug that into the C4 cache. Maybe that'll work. Then we don't even have to change everything. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, now we're working. So, I do too, but we ain't set up the logic yet. So let's see. If we open up the bombs animation blueprint for its first person, it has a few notifies inside the event graph. Right here it says show and hide equipments. I'm gonna copy these. Then I'm gonna go over to my first person animation blueprint and go to event graph. And just paste it down here in the bottom. And then we gotta do a little tweaking. So let's take a player reference and drag it in. And then we want to drag off and get, and just type in capital REF and scroll down. We want the current FP weapon BP reference. This one. Not this one. This one. This will give us our weapon reference, and we can just drag off and say get first person mesh. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and it's not going to give it to me. Come on. Why is it not going to give it to me? I'm being bullied. Get mesh. Well, we'll just click a random one. Give me the mass of this, and then just delete this node. Whatever. There's so many things. It just didn't want to give me this node right here. Being bullied today. Alright, so now that we have the mesh, we can, let's see, delete all these that say detonator. We don't need this, this. Don't need that one. Plug this into there. And let's see. Now we can drag off and just connect this up to that. Connect this up to that. And then delete that bomb. Everywhere there's a bomb plugged in somewhere, you plug in the first person mesh. So all of these, just connect them in. And then delete bomb. And then delete the old player reference. And then voila, there we go. Now we have these notifies, which are in the actual montages here for throwing and showing. And those should hide and show the bomb and stuff to make it look cool when you're throwing. Gives you the illusion of you're actually throwing a C4. Alright, so let's see. When I go into the game now, yeah, you can see it disappears out of my hand. Very nice. So the next thing we want to do is probably go put some logic in this thing. So let's go over here to the left hand side, type in server fire bullet. And this function called server fire bullet function. We'll open that up. And this little switch over here has a little drop down, and now we have C4 and a C4 detonator. So let's just, we're going to use that in a second. I'm going to come up here to the tip top where I got a lot of room, and we're going to put some new events here. So something will actually happen when you throw a C4. So this will be the throw C4 event. And I'll just copy this too. I'll go through it real quick once I paste it in here. Do nothing. There we go. Alright. So inside, what we want to do is you would right click, type in custom event, create custom event, and just name it throw C4. Alright. And then you go into the server fire bullet, you drag off a C4 and type in throw C4. Why? I guess I gotta compile. Compile it. Then come over into here, type in throw C4. Alright, so now when you shoot your gun, it's gonna throw C4. Okay. Let's see. I think that's how I was doing it. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Alright. So what I do is I just do a little short delay of 0.5. Then I spawn actor BP explosive projectile. You just right click and say spawn projectile. Actually no, not that one. Spawn actor from class. Yeah. And then you just click on BP explosion projectile or explosive projectile. And I just right clicked on the transform and split it like that, and it makes it look like this. And let's see, I had to go into the viewport, and we'll do that real quick. Viewport. I just clicked on the first person camera, no, first person arms, I believe, or was it? It might be camera. Add component. I just did an arrow and just call it, what did I call this? Equipment throw point. But let me name this. Come on, let me name it. Equipment throw point. And then of course you want to move it a little bit. So this would be somewhere out here. And then probably down a little bit. So just like out in front of your hands. This is where the C4 projectile itself is going to spawn at and go forward. So put it right there. Then we want to take that throw point. You would drag it into the level like this. Drag off and say get transform. We'll get world transform. It looks like this. Then you right click the orange one, you say split struct, and it looks like this, and then you just plug them in. Yellow into yellow, purple into purple, and leave the scale 1 to 1 1. So that gives you that. And you want to make sure this is always spawn, ignore collisions. Always spawning, so that way it'll always work. And then you want to make a new variable. So you come over here to the right hand side, click on variable. You type in array of my C4. Click. And we want this set to the BP explosive projectile. Create that. It's only giving me this error because I already had the thing there. Then on the top hand right side, you want to change, you click on the circle here and change this type to an array, which is the square here. There we go. And you drag it in. You say get, then you type in add, and you want to drag off of this projectile, add it into there. And let's see. We need this event too, so we'll just get rid of that for a sec. So we're going to add this in like that. And then we want to come down here and right click, create a new custom event, call it C4 owner camera shake, and make sure it's set to run on owning client. It doesn't have to be reliable. Just run on owning client, and then you want to get your player controller, so just right click and type in my player controller. It's a variable over here on the left hand side, and then just drag off and do client start camera shake. And under the shake you want the CS gunshot, scales 0.7, camera local is the play space, leave this rotation to 0, and then we're going to come up here and actually call it right where we were just at. So right after we added the projectile into the array, we call the camera shake, so it'll shake your camera when you throw it just a little bit. Voila, got that, okay. Okay, so that will throw the C4. Let's see. Now we need to thinking. Detonator. That's for, yeah, okay. Let's test it real quick. So hop into the game. Why do I not have C4? Oh, I'm on the wrong project. Hop into the game and I got a C4. I should be able to throw it. There we go. So we can throw C4s now, which is good. Let's test it on the client just to make sure that works as well. Well, probably should have just tested 2 players, but it works. Okay, so it's not working on client yet. Something's up. See what we did wrong here. So we can throw it. That's a server event. We have to open up the projectile itself, which is under explosive bomb, blueprints, BP explosive projectile. Open it up, it looks like this. And we want to come over here on the right hand side and click replicate. Actually, and probably replicate movement if we were throwing it, yeah. So we'll do that. And then we can throw it and see if it lets me throw it as a client. There we go. Now we can throw C4s. So now we can throw them. Now we just got to figure out how to make them blow up and stuff. So let's do that. So there's so many different ways you can do C4s. I mean, you can have it as a standalone weapon that you just have in your inventory, you know, like you got a rifle, a pistol, and a C4, and you switch between all 3. Or games like Call of Duty have it where you just press a button on your keyboard and it throws the C4 and then switches back to your primary weapon. It's just like a temporary throw type of deal. So I don't really know. I mean, I guess it just depends on your game and what you want. But if you want me to, I can show a couple ways. It's a lot of, you can see all this right here is just my fast way of, not really fast, but a way of I've made of like Call of Duty's way, where you press a button and he throws it, and you press another button and he clicks the detonator switch. We'll see if we can get to that at the end. Let's get the detonator and the way to blow the C4 up working first. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to copy this and put that in there, and then I'll give it an explanation. So inside of our third person, we have the throw C4 and we have our C4 camera shake. I'm also going to put in a new event for the detonator, using the detonator. And so you would right click, you type in create custom event, call it use detonator. And then inside that server fire bullet off of the C4 detonator, we would type use detonator. And this would get called when you press the button while you have the detonator out. What it's going to do is it's going to get that array of the C4s that we've thrown, and it's going to tell them to explode. And then we want to right click, create a custom event, call it detonator multicast use, and set it to multicast and reliable over here. And what this is going to do is we're just going to give ourselves unlimited ammo, basically, because it's a detonator. It's not really shooting or doing anything. We're just clicking the little switch. So what you want to do is you want to get the ammo clip, current weapon ammo clip. It's a variable over here, but you can type in ammo clip, and you just get this one. These are just variables. Same with this. You type in active weapon. If I can type, slot, and these are just variables. You drag off of this one. You say get a copy. Then you plug in the active weapon slot like that. Then you just drag off and do with a plus sign and do int plus int. And then you just type in, you drag off of this one and say set array elim. And plug in active weapon slot into the index. And then you plug in this +1 into the item. And that gives you a bullet back. Every time you press the button, you lose a bullet and gain a bullet. So basically unlimited clicks for the detonator. So that's what we plug into the multicast used here. And actually, it doesn't have to be multicast. You can just set that to run on owning client. There you go. So set that to run on owning client, and you don't have to call it multicast. You can call it detonator give ammo back. Yeah, there we go. And then you want to call that where you use the detonator here off of the completed tab of the for each loop. So you would make sure you clear this array of C4. So that's very important. You got to clear that. That's the most important thing. And then you plug in the detonator give ammo back. Very important that you clear this array, otherwise bad things will happen. So let's go check out this explode bomb. I didn't tell you about that one. You drag off of this and you type in explode bomb, and it's just an event inside of the projectile itself. So if you double click it, it should open it up. There's an event called explode bomb, and we got some stuff in here. This is where you spawn. This looks like he spawns an explosion actor, so we're gonna have to go play with that a little bit. Let me just double check my other one. Explosion. Let's see. Yeah, I think I changed it all up a little bit. Because I don't think he has damage and stuff in here. He's got all the cool effects, but I wanted it to be able to kill the zombies too for the template. So like, he comes in here, spawns this. Server applied damage. Da-da-da. No. Alright. So Bear with me here. I'm working on this. So inside of the explosion, close some of this so I can see. Sheesh. Bear with me, bear with me. There we go. So we are inside of the bomb itself, right? And we need to open up the bomb, BP explosion bomb. When you open it up, and it looks like that, just a bomb with a radius on it. Okay. So let's go to the event graph. I'm going to unplug the begin play. And instead, I'm going to do a custom event. And we'll just call it something like, I don't know, server do, we'll just do C4 damage, something like that. Good enough. Alright, so then back inside of the actual bomb itself, in the explode bomb where we spawn the actor, we would drag off and say C4 damage, and we call that right there, right after we spawn it. And then here's our event. Let's also make sure we click on self up here, make sure it replicates, so we can, the damage will be replicated. And we'll drag off, and we're going to have to do some custom stuff. There's probably a bunch of ways you can do this. Yeah, we'll do it this way. Do a hit and then apply point damage, and then you plug that in. Okay, and then impulse is the only thing. Okay, that'll work. So let's see, we'll make another custom event here. We'll call it multicast. It saved on me. Don't you love it when it does that? Mid type multicast impulse, and we're gonna take this this right here, plug it into this, and just make sure you set this to multicast. We'll do reliable because it's not like we do it a lot. Alright, now we have to do our damage event, so I'm just gonna do a multi-sphere trace. We'll do it for objects, sure. Doesn't really matter, but this will work. And the radius would, you can give it your own custom radius for how big you want the explosion, or he's got a sphere in here, right? Sphere collision. His radius is 250, so we'll just use that amount. 250 on the radius. We'll drag off of object types, make an array. And this is the array of stuff that it can damage. So we want it to hurt pawns. We want it to hurt physic bodies. You can add more on here if you want. Maybe you want to blow up vehicles with it, or if you want to blow up destructibles with it, or dynamic. So basically everything except for static objects can take damage. Let's move it up here to give us some room. You need a start and an end point, so we'll just do a get actor location. Plug that in for the start, and for the end we'll just add a vector plus a vector, and then do like a 0.1. Unreal Engine don't let you use the same start and end points, so I just do like a small little change, so that way technically it's not the same, but kinda is. So that will blow up, give us a little sphere trace right here, and for everything that we hit, we want to do a for each loop. Basically, we're going to say, for everything we hit, break the hit result, take the hit actor here, and apply damage to it. But this is where you might want to do a check, so I don't know if you want C4 to damage yourself and other players. You probably don't want to blow up your friends, right? So you could do a check here, you could probably do an interface, you could do anything you want, but for the sake of easy cheesy, we're just gonna do a cast to third person character. It's an easy way of, some people are like, no, don't cast. Well, it's not gonna hurt you. It's just gonna say, out of all the actors that we just hit with this explosion, were you a third person character? If you are, do nothing. If you're not, which zombies and everything else is not, then we'll just apply point damage. So then after the cast failed, we'll plug into the point damage. We'll take the hit actor, plug it into the damage. You put your damage amount. I'll just put something ridiculous like 999999 because C4 should always kill, I think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but you can change that value to whatever you want. Maybe that's too much. There we go. Don't want to get too carried away. The hit from direction, you can just put that as like location, I guess, or maybe impact point. One of those two. Hit info, so you can just take the hit info, plug it in like that. Damage causer would be self, I think. Self, and compile, save. There we go. So then off of the completed of this for each loop, we would come down here, we do our multicast impulse, call this event. This calls this one down here, and then we plug this into the, actually we might need a small delay. Yeah, let's do a small one. So we'll just, instead of calling the multicast right there, we'll do the set scale of the explosion first off of the completed of the for each loop. And then we'll just do a small delay of like, what did I put, 0.2 or something? 0.3, 0.2, something like that. Basically, we want to give it time for the zombies to die from the explosion, just a small fraction of a sec. And once they've died, then they'll ragdoll. Then once they've ragdolled, we use the impulse so it sends their ragdoll flying everywhere. Then we just delay like 5 seconds and destroy the actor. So, let me just zoom this in for you. For each loop, off of the complete, you come down here, you set the scale of the explosion to whatever he's got here, 1.5. His setting's not mine. I guess that makes the explosion effect bigger. And then you wait 0.2 seconds. You call the multicast impulse, which calls that, which then blasts the ragdolls everywhere. Wait 5 seconds, destroy actor. And again, make sure this is set to replicate. That should give us the ability to damage enemies and stuff, but now I gotta have a way of actually blowing it up. So for the sake of testing, let's just go back into the third person character. I'm gonna right click and use the 8 key just for the heck of it, just for testing. So when I press 8, I want to call the use detonator, I guess. We'll call that event. So when I press it, type in use detonator, and that should blow up everything. I hope. Let's see what happens. Alright, so when I throw this, and I press 8, nothing. What a rip. Beep, beep, beep. I can throw them, but I can't detonate. It's giving me ammo. Oh, hold on. Use detonator. This comes in here. Get all these. Explode bomb. Well, it should have worked, but it's not running on server, so yeah, that makes sense. I'm on a client right now, so the testing is not going to work right. So if I throw it as a server, it should work. Yeah. Alright. So for testing it's working. We know that we can explode the bombs, but let me just throw it onto these zombies here. Yeah, that's what we like to see. And I got 2 quad points. Alright. So that's good that we have that working. Let me blow them up just a little bit. Ah, so satisfying. Okay. So now we gotta make the C4 detonator. Let's go over to the weapon info table. I'm gonna just duplicate the C4 and I'm gonna call this one C4 detonator. And let's scroll all the way to the tippity top here. give this a name of detonator. We got to make another blueprint for it, so I'm going to duplicate the weapon blueprint for C4. Just call this one C4 detonator BP. Open it up, open full blueprint. It's basically the same thing we just did. Click on third person, first person, change the mesh to SK detonator. There it is. Boop, boop. I think it does need the anim class for this one. Detonator. Yeah, make sure you change the anim class to detonator anim BP, just so we can play the animation of it actually getting squeezed. You can't do that without that, but he includes one, which is awesome. Let's go back to the data table and add this detonator blueprint, C4 detonator BP, weapon type, C4 detonator, weapon anim set. We'll leave it C4 for now. We do need the socket change to detonator socket for both first and third person. And our third person fire animation is going to be, where's he got this? Bomb press, I think. Click, click, yeah. We use the bomb press. I'm going to just copy that and paste it there. Switch weapon montage. I guess just leave the third person, it doesn't matter. First person arm shoot would be the bomb press for both of those. Everything else is the same, I believe. Let me look at the fire delay. There's probably a good fire delay for 1 second. So let's change from 1.5 to 1 for the detonator. So every 1 second you can click the detonator. Everything else doesn't matter. Okay, so let's open up the view. No. Third person. If I click up at the top and change my weapon to, let's add, where'd it go? Why you bullying me? C4 detonator. There we go. So now we'll have a C4 and a detonator. And I believe, yeah, we called that. So, I got my detonator out. I don't think my animation is set up just right. Yeah, it's not. But we'll get there. So I can throw these. Switch to the detonator. Oh, very nice. Alright. We gotta fix that. We gotta get that montage working right. So right now he's got a frame. He's got one called Use M57. And inside of the blueprint, no, not this one. Let's go back to our first person blueprint, which is under HGT, first person, animation, first person, MVP. He's using this. And I think we want to use something a little different. Yeah, we want to play a montage instead. Alright. So, instead of hiding the material there, off of this one, drag off and type in play montage. And we want to play the montage on the first person mesh here, which is the detonator. And we want to press the detonator press animation, which is right under montage. This one, detonator press montage. Yeah, we wanted to do that. Click, click. So, that's the montage we're going to play right there. Compile, save. Let's see if it presses. There we go. And then I pull out the C4. Boom! And you can just spam this. Nothing happens. I still have ammo. Throw the C4. Beautiful. that's pretty much how everything's working now, I believe. Let's test it with 2 players just to make sure. So let's see, we'll have server player on the right, we'll have the client player on the left. I have my C4 here, and I throw one here, I throw one there, and just for testing's sake, I'll throw one right here as the server. Alright, so client, oh, he blows his up, and it didn't blow up the servers, which is nice. Server waits, make sure I can see if I can blow myself. Oh, it does launch me. You could use that to glitch out of the map. Alright, so I think we're working with everything's working perfect. The only thing that we don't have set up really is the switch weapon animations. So let's just come in here and see what he's got. He's got a bomb down. I can't really tell unless I pause it. So it starts here and it goes down, but then it goes back up. I think that's like for a quick press. If you play his demo, you'll see maybe he's holding the bomb and it goes down, switches to the detonator, comes back up with the detonator and presses it, something like that. This is, I guess, just an idle. Bomb press, bomb throw, and a bomb up. So I guess you could use the bomb up. These are always tricky, trying to get animations between your rifles and guns, the switch weapon animations to blend and look right with everything you got. So you just kind of have to tweak and play with these. I would think maybe we can take this bomb up, and use it. So we can try. I'm gonna rename it something to like, well, what? Let's go to a sequence. We'll just make some new ones. Bomb up. Is this it? Yeah. We'll recreate. We'll right-click it, create an montage, and we'll call it C4 raise. Alright, so this is the raising it up. We'll plug that in and see what it looks like. So detonator. Where's the C4 raise at? First person, pull out. C4 raise. We'll do it for the C4 too. Pull out. Raise. There we go. Guess I should have called it pull out, but whatever. Let's get back to 1 player so I can see it good. It's kind of playing, but we don't have the put away animation. So let's take and duplicate that. Where was that one called? Bomb up was this one, right? So if I duplicate the bomb up, boop, we'll just call this one bomb put away. And then I'll just right click, create montage, and we'll call it C4 down. These are not good names for, I don't know what I'm thinking. Let's change these. We'll call this one C4 put away. Okay, and then the C4 raise, I'm going to change the name of that one to C4 pull out. That way it's easy to understand. And same with this bomb put away. Let's change it to the same thing. We'll say C4 put away. We can't, never mind, because I didn't name it montage. Whatever. Alright, so the put away the actual put away animation here is, we gotta reverse it. So I'm just gonna change the play rate to -1. And then save. And then it should play right now. Yeah, there we go. So it starts here, it goes down there. It's kind of like a glitched workaround, but it works. Just play in the same animation in reverse. And then so pull out, he raises. Okay. So now we could go to these. We got pull out and put away. C4 put away montage. Copy. We'll do that same with a detonator. Paste. Save. Save all. Play. Playing way too fast. I don't know if I should just adjust the blend time or if I just slow them down. So the pull out, how fast this animation is, like, what is that? 0.2 seconds, 0.42, and the blend in, blend out is, yeah. I mean, I could put that to 0 and see if that helps anything. Same with the put away. Change the blend time so that way maybe it won't. Nah, it just kind of looks junky. Let's close this one. Where am I? Well, we'll leave the blend times, but we'll slow the animation down. So how about that? How about bomb put away, instead of -1, we'll do -0.5 on the actual animation, not the montage. And make sure you set the blends back. And then, what was the other one? The put away, pull out. Which one is this one? X bomb up anim. Let's rename that to bomb pull out. Maybe that didn't break anything. We'll change that speed to something like 0.5, so it's a little slower. Save, play. Still fast. Sheesh, man. Well, like I said, animations, you just kind of have to play with them. What if I change the blend to like 0.1? 0.1. And then change the put away. 0.1, 0.1. Save, play. That's a little better. It's not great, but it'll work. I could show you a cheap way if you want to do. I was just playing around with this the other day. If you got animations sometimes that I can't, that you like, these animations are great for if you're doing it like Call of Duty style, where you press a button and it just pulls the hands up, goes click, boom, or pulls the hands up and throws a C4. But I don't know about, I think it's not these animations, it's the rifle. I don't know, that's not too bad. You could probably keep tweaking that and make it look good. But I can show you another trick. You could do something like a timeline. You can add a timeline, call it something like fake switch weapons. And we'll just do custom event, I guess, to say put away. We'll do a fake put away. Fake put away. Play from start, and then we'll do another custom event and do fake pull out. And just if you know, like, the video is pretty much done. I showed you how to get it all working. I'm just kind of messing around, tweaking, playing. This would take a lot of. You can just there's so many ways you could use a C4, you know, like I was saying. But we don't need this test event anymore for 8. That was just for testing. So basically, we're going to open up this timeline by double-clicking it. We're going to set the length to 1. We're going to add a float. I'll just call this scale. And then you hold shift and you click, and then set the time to 0. Set the value to 1. And then hold shift and click again. Set the time to 1. Set the value to 0. Hit these arrows right here, and you can see we have a nice graph that goes from 1 all the way down to 0. Compile and save that. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to take the first person arms, drag them in, set their relative scale. I think that's it. Relative scale 3D. Yeah. And we're going to update. And let's see. We'll just set the scale. Plug it right in. Like that. What this is doing is when you run it, it's the fake put away will shrink your arms down over time to nothing, and then fake pull out would pull them back out and shrink, make your arms grow back to the right full scale. And it may sound stupid, but we could test it out and you'll see what it looks like. So if I press 8, fake, put away, and let's see, we'll just do a 9, I guess. 9, I'll call the fake pull out. Alright, we'll see what that looks like. So, I'm in the game and I press 9. Oh, that was way too fast. That's not too bad. Zoop. Zoop. So if I press 8 to make the weapon go away, it just goes, you know, scales my arms down to nothing. So right now the scale of my arms are 0. And I press 9, it scales them back up to 1. And it works pretty good. See, it looks like a put away and pull out animation, but I'm not playing any animations right now. I'm just shrinking the arms scale. So, just a cheap little way of messing with things. Come here, zombie. Time to die. But you can play around with the animations some more and get that working if you want, or get those tweaked values. But that's pretty much how you can set up the weapons, how you get the C4 all replicated and working for multiplayer, and the detonator working for multiplayer. And let's see, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Check out the cool C4 product. It's very nice. And see ya.